How's it going, makers? Today, I'm Rachel, by the way. Today we're going to go over the angle grinder and how to change out the wheels on that and how to safely use it. I have some other projects that are really utilizing this tool heavily, so I wanted to go and cover the basics first. So here we go. Clunky little filming we got going. I got 90s editing for you coming up. So, before we change out the wheel or do anything maintenance-wise here, we want to make sure that it's unplugged. You got your little lock button here. You gotta find a key, which is, ta-da! So you just want to make sure that the key kind of lines up with those holes. You can see it. So while you're holding down this lock, insert the key here, loosen that flange nut, which is this guy that holds the flap disc on. Remove that. You also have this spacer flange, which has little flats on the inside or underside, and those correspond with the spindle and all of the gear mechanism in the machine. So while you're still holding down the lock button, we'll put that spacer back on, make sure that it's locked down and seated nicely into those flat areas. You also have your spindle here. So we're going to change it to a nicer flap wheel. I don't know if that's nicer. Here we go. So we got a new flap wheel. And there's a little raised area here. That's where the metal grommet on the flap wheel is going to kind of seat into. And then we're going to take this flange nut here. And now we're going to press down that lock button again right here. Use our key to lock it down. So when we go to use this, we want to make sure that we have the proper safety gear first. So I'll bring you back up to me. I'm going to go look for a shield real quick. So I like to put the earmuffs on first, then my shield over top of that. And before I do all of that, I'll kind of talk through how you should use the machine or operate it. So here we have your safety. We're going to push that down, and then this is your throttle or your trigger that gets it to turn on. So while we're grinding, take this off so you can hear me. While you're grinding, you want to make sure that you focus on the outside of the wheel. You don't want to hit the spindle or the flange nut. That will burn out the motor. Also, you have these handles that thread in and out. So you have it threaded here. I keep it on this side because I'm a righty. But if you're a left-handed person, you can put it on this side. So real handy. You also have a guard, which you can adjust depending on what side you want to focus most on. It's right there. I like to have it cover the areas where my hands are going to be for obvious reasons. So we've got that. Alright, so I'm going to plug it in, and I'm going to angle you back down to the workpiece. So there we are. I think maybe you can see me or see where I'm going to be working. We also have these handy clamps. So this is engaged. This lever will be down and most parallel with this part here that has the nut. As you can see, as I'm turning the nut here, right here, it's getting, the gap here is getting smaller. So that gives it a little more tension when it's clamped down to the workpiece. You have this high carbon steel that happens when you plasma cut. It's just really strong, brittle steel. When you go to weld on that, it's not very happy. It tends to bubble out and create a bunch of pitting in your, or porosity rather, in your welding. So we're going to get rid of that with the angle grinder. I'm going to smooth out some of these edges, and then that's probably it. All right. Also, I forgot to mention, to release, when it's engaged, you just want to pull up on this lever here, and that will release it. Also keep in mind, as you are angle grinding on your piece, it will get hot because of the friction. So be mindful of that when you go to move it around. You might want to have pliers nearby so you can use those to maneuver it. All right. So that's all we have for today on Idea Foundry's tips and tricks. I will be seeing you guys next time. Thank you. Bye.